Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Let me introduce myself and the project of this channel. My name is Jonas, I'm Brazilian and that's why I have this accent. I love MMORPGs, but different from some other people, what I truly love about MMORPGs is not how to be the most powerful, how to be at the cutting edge, the meta, no. What I love is to feel I inhabit another world. I love the economy and the social aspects of the games. The in-game shops, the auction systems, the guilds, the in-game chats, the forums. I'm old school, I prefer forums to Discord. I am a very shy person. Less nowadays, but when I was younger, I was super shy. So much so that I would barely use TeamSpeak or any other voice chat. I really had social anxiety, but games offered a bubble where I could interact with other people. While playing the game, the topic was only the game. Nobody knew me, nobody knew how awkward I was, nobody knew how I would get low grades in all subjects, from math to physical education. And I had no friends. From 12 years old until 17 years old, I didn't have a single friend. I had my brother, and when he really wanted to hurt me, he would say that I was such a loser that I didn't have not even one friend. And this would hurt me deeply, just thinking about it hurts me a little bit. In my experience, the kids who suffered more bullying were the ones trying to fit in, so to protect myself, I isolated myself. I got inside my shell like a turtle. At school, life was horrible, but at home, I was someone else in a virtual world. I would fit in. I said my brother would hurt me sometimes, but I'm very thankful to have a brother. We played a lot of MMORPGs together. Before we discovered MMOs, we used to play Dungeons & Dragons. And when we found our very first MMO, Ragnarok Online, it was mind-blowing. Each character in there was a person, a real person. In terms of gameplay, no game gets even close to tabletop D&D. But sharing a persistent world with thousands of other people, that was fascinating. I'm so fascinated by these chaotic, massive social interactions that it is what I currently study in my PhD. I don't study MMORPGs, I study cooperation and life in society. I mentioned earlier that I used to get low grades on all subjects. Well, that's because schools all over the world suck. Doing well in exams is no measure of intelligence or knowledge. Despite my low grades, I'm currently doing a PhD on the intersection between economics and philosophy of action. And my project in this channel is to explore these topics, but in MMORPGs and games in general. So here's the project. I will make videos exploring in detail the economy of each MMORPG, both the economy within the game and the monetization models of the companies that own and distribute those games. So we'll talk about auction systems, about mudflation, which haunts most MMORPGs, and other economic features within games. But I will also talk about the downfall of the subscription and the pay-to-play modes, and the current dominion of the pay-to-win system. I will talk about NFTs in the metaverse, which is basically an MMO composed solely of NFTs. The idea of a virtual world is fascinating, and our lives are already digital. But Facebook's metaverse is just a scam. Yeah, spoiler alert about my videos, and I think most people would agree with me. I don't like NFTs in games, and I don't like Facebook. But I won't only talk about economics, I will also talk about the social features of each MMO. There are plenty of academic studies about how people cooperate and compete within a cooperative framework, and I really want to show these things in MMOs. So I will analyze guild systems, PvP, chat, and communication systems and group making features. For instance, Albion is a PvP full loot game, so that induces people to join big guilds and form these Zergs. But this is not so different from Thomas Hobbes' thoughts on how societies were formed. And then on the other hand, we have Ashes of Creation, which intends to have a novel node system where anything you do nearby a node contributes to its progress. So the game is baking a form of forced cooperation at the very foundation of the game design. I will talk about the Holy Trinity, the division between tank, healer and damage dealer, which is essentially a division of labor. And division of labor is at the foundational level of any society. Most MMORPGs got rid of the Holy Trinity without substituting it for a new division of labor. So that made the games more solo friendly, yes, but at the expense of being far less cooperative. I will also talk about how this division between solo and group is a little bit superficial. There's no reason for us to be manichaeist about it. We have to understand that there's a whole spectrum of sociality, different forms and levels of social interaction. I'm very hyped for Ashes of Creation, and I will join the bandwagon and make videos about the game. On paper, the idea behind the game is ingenious, but in practice, well, only time will tell. The channel will be about MMOs in general, but on YouTube, when you start a channel, it's better to niche down. So for my interest in MMOs in general, I'll niche down to MMORPGs. But this is still too broad. I will niche down to a type of MMORPGs, the sandbox genre. But this is YouTube. Competition is fierce and I'm a nobody. So I will start by focusing on only one game, or at least try to focus on only one game. And that game will be Ragnarok Online. It was my first MMORPG and it feels good to start this new journey from my own beginnings. I don't want to make the funniest videos or the most entertaining gaming channel. I just want to be honest. I want to share what I have learned and my genuine feelings regarding the games. MMORPGs were really important in my life, especially when I was a teenager. Ragnarok is a very old MMO. It's still alive, but mostly outside Europe and North America. In Brazil, the game is still very healthy, but I'm making videos in English, so I don't expect to have tons of views on my videos. But that's okay, this channel is a long-term project and I don't expect to see any impressive growth at the beginning. What I'm looking for is a steady, healthy growth. I would rather be the turtle than the hare. As much as I can, I will avoid clickbait and half-baked content, but I will try to make several videos per week. This means that I will have to sacrifice quality for quantity. So I will sacrifice the editing, but not the research. Hopefully there will be videos every other day. And after Ragnarok, I will move on to Albion Online. And after that, most likely Black Desert Online. But I won't make videos on only one game, I will also make videos on more general topics. And if they get traction, then I will shift to only talk about general topics. This is my style, no jokes or heavy editing, but just honest talk, based on legitimate research. I have to focus on research because that's what I'm good at. I don't have a funny personality and I have no talent for editing, but I do like to research. I mean, that's what I do. I spend the whole day researching for my doctorate. And speaking of which, the future of my research is on programming artificial agents. That's a branch of artificial intelligence. It's basically about programming NPCs. And the vast majority of MMOs have horrible AI systems. As a matter of fact, most games have bad AI, except for games where AI is the focus, like RimWorld. I like colony simulators because they show the potential power of intelligent NPCs. I said I'm fascinated with cooperation and thus with economics, but above all, I'm interested in agency. So at a certain point, I will shift the focus of the channel to NPCs. I will start with NPCs in MMORPGs, of course, and talk about things like bots. But at a certain point, you will see videos about what MMORPGs can learn from RimWorld and stuff like that. I will end up talking about colony simulators like Dwarf Fortress and Going Medieval, and also about life simulators in general like The Sims. I will eventually shift from talking about real human agents interacting in a virtual world, MMORPGs, to talking about how we can improve simulations of agency, and how humans can interact with simulated agents. My goal is to eventually make my own colony simulator. I know that's a bit ambitious, but well, it's less ambitious than trying to make my own MMO, right? So in a way, this channel is a place for me to share what I know and to learn as well. But anyway, the focus now is on sandbox MMORPGs. First Ragnarok, then Albion. This is the very first video for the channel and I want to make clear who am I and what you can expect from this channel. Anyway, that's it guys. Thank you for watching and good luck to all of us.